Part 59. I'm Really Immortal. Author, Chulian Kuikan Ru Siahua. Chapter 600. Lu Chang'an bought 3 chickens and killed them. He made a knife on the back, removed the internal organs and picked out the bones. Then he used the back of the knife to beat the whole chicken meat loosely, so that the chicken oil could soak into the meat and spread it. Add salt and egg white, beat the chicken for a while to add flavor, and then steam it until cooked. This dish is called chuiji. In an era when people highly praised government cuisine, it was a famous dish served by a governor named Gao. Of course, people now also respect government cuisine, but the reasons for their admiration are somewhat different. While eating breakfast, Zhou Shuling pulled Lu Chang'an aside to talk. I ate 3 chickens for breakfast, Zhou Shuling whispered. It's not like eating 3 pigs, Lu Chang'an waved his hand. Go and eat quickly, they will eat them all later. What I mean is, they eat too much. They still need to control their diet. What will happen if Dandan becomes round later? Zhou Shuling said worriedly. She felt that Shangguan Dandan's body shape had become the same as that of Zhou Shuling. Dongdong is always a matter of time. Zhou Dongdong is young after all, and she is quite cute with her plump flesh. Shangguan Dandan is at the age of a beautiful girl. What if others see her and say press F to enter the tank? Lu Chang'an grabbed Zhou Shuling's shoulder and lifted it. What are you doing? Zhou Shuling's face turned red and she was done. You have indeed gained some weight, Lu Chang'an laughed. The only person in this room who has gained weight is you. When Zhou Shuling was caught by him, she knew what he was going to do. She did feel that she had gained a little bit. Recently, she only weighed herself before meals and only in her underwear. Feeling very ashamed, Zhou Shuling beat Lu Chang'an many times without mercy and secretly vowed not to eat breakfast until she succeeded in losing weight. After breakfast, Lu Chang'an went downstairs and went to Shangguan Dandan's room to get his rattan bookcase. Shangguan Dandan went back to the room with him. My box, what did you put in it? Lu Chang'an took his box out from under the bed. As soon as he held it in his hand, he felt that the weight was wrong. Shangguan Dandan opened it and found a whole box of effervescent tablets. I have a lot, Shangguan Dandan said with some show-off. Where are the things I put inside? Lu Chang'an asked calmly. Shangguan Dandan opened the coffin and the quilt inside. Lu Chang'an's books and other things were neatly buried underneath. Lu Chang'an took the opportunity to observe the coffin. There were no unusual devices. It looked like an ordinary bronze coffin. However, he knew that this was all an illusion, and it might not even be an illusion. There's no need to take it out. Lu Chang'an didn't care that she was using his books and diaries to cushion the quilt. Clean up your effervescent tablets and I'll take the box to put the clothes. Shangguan Dandan took out her precious effervescent tablets and put them in the coffin, then followed Lu Chang'an upstairs. Lu Chang'an put the newly made skirt into the box, and carefully wrapped the remaining fabric corners and pressed them together in the box. This skirt is so beautiful. Shangguan Dandan reached out and touched it. Lu Chang'an already knows that if she likes or wants something, she can't help but touch it, or touch it around. This is a characteristic of little girls, and Zhou Dongdong is the same. It's for my girlfriend, Lu Chang'an said. That little daughter-in-law who hasn't officially met me yet, of course. Shangguan Dandan knew and knew on. There was almost no Lu Chang'an's essence in this girl's body, which made Shangguan Dandan feel incredible. Judging from historical performance, he is obviously lewd and slutty. I'll find an opportunity to bring her to play with you, Lu Chang'an nodded. Lu Chang'an took the scraps of fabric used to make the skirt to an exhibition center in the school, which is a place belonging to the School of Design and Art. Lu Chang'an remembers that the School of Design and Art used to be an old-fashioned courtyard with a large osmanthus tree that covered half of the school. It was in line with the working and learning environment that designers of that era pursued, a quiet and natural feeling. The large courtyard is still there, and Hunan University retains many buildings with period characteristics. It just built a new exhibition center next to the courtyard. Its appearance maintains the same style as the old courtyard in terms of overall design and color tone. Hunan University is one of the first 2 universities in the country to establish the discipline of industrial design. The School of Art and Design focuses on industrial design, and it still has some strength. The works in this exhibition are all from students and teachers across the school. It is not an exhibition of achievements of the School of Art and Design. It is considered an exhibition of interest for art amateurs. Originally, the works to be exhibited needed to be registered, reviewed, and then arranged. Lu Chang'an asked Qin Yanan to help with the application. This time, the teacher responsible for arranging the exhibition location gave Lu Chang'an a window position in the gallery because he said that his exhibits were priceless and priceless. Considering some rumors among school teachers and observing several school activities where Qin Yanan appeared, and the attitude of school leaders towards Qin Yanan, this teacher chose to believe Lu Chang'an's words. It is a priceless treasure, so I will arrange the best for you. Location. Lu Chang'an observed the venue and came to the exhibition center to arrange the works the night before the official visit. This classmate, what kind of work is this? The teacher on duty looked at Lu Chang'an's work. Return in Song Dynasty. The name of the work is Return to the Song Dynasty. Yes. I mean, you put these pieces of rags on your back. Is this a new form of artistic creation? The teacher asked. I have never seen it, but I can accept it. Anyway, there are not many innovations in the art world that can wait for the elegant hall, but there are many embarrassing and unconventional ones. Someone took off his clothes and rolled around on the drawing paper while peeing. The wet marks formed by the urine can be regarded as what's not acceptable about artistic creation? Of course, this student's creative form is not that low level. No, I just post it. The teacher on duty stopped talking. If the leader of the exhibition center hadn't said hello, he wouldn't have had the time to stay here. He yawned and allowed Lu Chang'an to mess around in the most important display position in the exhibition center. Lu Chang'an didn't finish it until 5 o'clock in the morning, and the teacher on duty had already gone to the lounge to sleep. Without disturbing others, Lu Chang'an left quietly and walked around slowly alone. The campus covered with sycamore trees in winter became familiar again. When I came here in September, I saw many unfamiliar buildings and scenes. As time went by, those unfamiliar feelings faded away, but I felt that this campus was not much different from the past, except that there were more houses. The roads have just been repaired, and many buildings with a sense of age are still clustered together, but the school has expanded into newer areas. Lu Chang'an met Sunangxiu next to Peach Lake. She was sitting on a stone by the lake. She didn't get up when she saw Lu Chang'an coming over, but just gave him a strange look. Who wouldn't be surprised to see it? When Lu Chang'an passed her, there was already a ray of morning light in the distance. After a long detour, Lu Chang'an bought vegetables at a nearby vegetable market and arrived at the Juyuan community. Today he made an appointment with An Nuan to go to the exhibition center to receive artistic influence. Don't make it too short, there will be an update in the evening. I'm really immortal. Author, Chu Lian Kui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 601. There are so many trees in the Juyuan community, filtering out the morning light to only a few spots, as if it was not yet dawn. Lu Chang'an knocked on the door for a while before An Nuan came over to open the door. Why are you here? Unexpectedly, there was her favorite person standing behind the annoying knock on the door. An Nuan laughed vaguely, raised her hands and put them on Lu Chang'an's shoulders and leaned over with her eyes closed. Pillowed on his chest and hummed lazily, "Don't move, I'll sleep for a while." Lu Chang'an did not move, but gently held her waist, looking far away at a cat squatting lazily on the wall. After a while, Lu Yuang walked out. She glanced at Lu Chang'an who was standing at the door, went back and put on a coat before coming over to talk. "What are you doing standing at the door?" Lu Yuang pushed An Nuan as he spoke. She said she wanted to sleep for a while. Lu Yuang was not so used to An Nuan and kept pushing An Nuan. An Nuan woke up, snorted impatiently, frowned and glared at her mother. "What are you doing? I want to sleep." "If you want to go to bed, go back to your room and sleep. If you stand here and sleep, do you think you are a horse if you are taller?" Lu Yuang hit An Nuan. Actually, many animals sleep standing up, mainly mammals. As mammals, it is normal for humans to sleep standing up. It is not unbelievable. Lu Chang'an spoke for An Nuan. "Am I really asleep?" An Nuan was hit by Lu Yuang and woke up. She blinked and looked at Lu Chang'an. "I fell asleep in your arms, and you have been standing here." Lu Chang'an nodded. An Nuan didn't say anything, but had a sweet smile on her face. While touching Lu Chang'an's arms and chest, she looked back at her mother bravely with provocative eyes. "I'm full, don't ask me to eat." Lu Yuang waved her sleeves and went back. She saw the plastic bag in Lu Chang'an's hand. Lu Chang'an usually took charge of breakfast when he came to An Nuan very early. "You'll make breakfast later, and she'll come out to eat by herself." An Nuan giggled and took Lu Chang'an's hand into the living room. "Professor Lu is a face-saving person, and he will never do it," Lu Chang'an said toward Lu Yuang's room. "Disgusting. Don't tease her," An Nuan protested. When a woman is teased, if she is angry, suffocated, or depressed, there are basically many reactions that will make men think she is cute. Lu Chang'an went to the kitchen to make breakfast. After making breakfast, Lu Yuang came out as expected. "Didn't you say you were full?" An Nuan asked, holding the spoon. "I was full when I saw you, so now I treat you like nothing, and I'm hungry." Lu Yuang took the bowl handed over by Lu Chang'an. He really underestimated her. How can a mother be so shameless? None. "You are so thick-skinned. You're so slimy early in the morning that you have the nerve to call other people thick-skinned. We are in love, but we are polite. What kind of etiquette is there in a large public gathering? What's a big crowd at your doorstep? Then let's consider whether the front door of our house counts as a public meeting. I eat, you won't say anything when you eat," Lu Chang'an said. As the maker of breakfast, he still had this authority, so the two women stopped quarreling while they were washing their hands and waiting to eat. This is the habit of self-cultivation, moderation, and respect for service and labor providers. This is the reason why no matter how noisy they are, they don't look like market shrews. After breakfast, Lu Yuang made tea for Lu Chang'an as usual, although when that incident happened, Lu Yuang swore that Lu Chang'an would come over and never greet him again, but after all, that was another person swearing, wasn't it? What does it have to do with Professor Lu Yuang, who is gentle and elegant and treats others like a spring breeze? Lu Chang'an drank tea, while Lu Yuang and An Nuan went to change clothes. "The fluffy thing I'm wearing today, will it be cute?" An Nuan came out with a fluffy coat. It was different from the one with bunny ears. The hood of this one was different. It's cat ears. "When did you stop being cute?" Lu Chang'an wondered from the bottom of his heart. With his eyesight, he didn't notice when she was not cute. It was really surprising. It must be because she is cute. And Nuan happily went back to change clothes, although she might not necessarily choose this cat-eared coat in the end. "Lu Chang'an, please help me look at the clutch bag and the shoulder bag. Which one matches my cheongsam?" Lu Yuang came out with two bags. "Hold the bag, because then An Nuan and I will hold hands, and you can hold the bag with both hands, so you won't have the feeling of having no place to put your hands," Lu Chang'an analyzed and suggested objectively, without any provocation or meaning of ridicule. Lu Yuang took two bags and beat the person until An Nuan came out to save him. Professor Lu prefers activities full of artistic flavor. Although based on her taste, an exhibition focusing on the works of amateurs will definitely not catch her eye, it's just that these amateur exhibitions often have some new ideas. Look, it's a completely different look and feel from the unconventional and unique things created by those veterans in the art world. We agreed to go to the exhibition together today. Professor Lu herself is as beautiful as a fine work of art. Lu Yuang and An Nuan finished dressing up and went out with Lu Chang'an, who had been drinking tea. Lu Chang'an, why are you suddenly interested in this small exhibition? The school has held many art and design exhibitions this semester, and I haven't seen you ask An Nuan to go there, Lu Yuang said with some confusion. While looking at Lu Chang'an's thin clothes, I realized it was a mistake not to hit him with the commuter bag inlaid with an alloy handle just now. She is not like other mothers who always feel that their children will get cold if they wear thin clothes. Lu Chang'an is an extraordinary person. I'm exhibiting. Ah. Lu Yuang and An Nuan both looked at him in surprise, neither of them knew. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Lu Yuang said angrily. That's right, An Nuan rarely agreed with her mother. Surprise. What a surprise. You didn't tell me earlier. Lu Yuang frowned and his lips wrinkled. If I knew you would participate, I would first post on Moments and invite people to come and support me. Lu Yuang is very keen on this kind of thing, because women of her age will often like and vote for children-related things posted by some people in her circle of friends. Lu Chang'an has such an opportunity for her. Posting to Moments is her chance to recoup the favors she has accumulated through likes and votes. Forget it, if you post on WeChat Moments, you will praise Lu Chang'an. An Nuan was unwilling, but after thinking about it, she was full of confidence in her boyfriend, so she changed her statement. Your middle-aged and elderly friends, in terms of artistic aesthetics, can you keep up with Lu Chang'an's ideas? You licking dog, Lu Yuang cursed in disgust. Ever since she learned this word, she especially liked to use it to scold An Nuan. Of course, it's also great to scold Lu Chang'an. Speaking of aesthetics, the most difficult thing to improve and change in a person's life is aesthetic level and preference. Aesthetics can also be divided into various fields. Some people's aesthetic level in calligraphy and painting is commendable, but it does not mean that they are good in painting and calligraphy. There is a level of aesthetics in jewelry craftsmanship or modern industrial design. Sometimes aesthetics determines the upper limit of a person's industry level, and sometimes it just determines the upper limit of a person's quality of life. For example, many people are rich. Stop it. Why don't you ask him to stop? Isn't it good to say nothing? He will be able to talk about 5G construction and trade tariffs later. Do you believe it? I know he can talk about it, but how can the topic of aesthetics involve 5G and tariffs? I don't know my boyfriend yet. Isn't it great that you have a boyfriend? Even now, I'm not in puppy love anymore, you can't control it anymore. Haha, you are the only one who fell in love early. Before you were 15, you were chased by dogs every day, rolled on the ground, and went to illegal internet cafes with Hans Hizzy. I don't. Lu Chang'an found out that they were quite capable of teasing, so wouldn't this involve a black internet cafe? Speaking of black internet cafes, the exhibition center has arrived. I don't know why many people say that An Nuan is silly and sweet, a girl who has a lot of dirty jokes in her heart, but insists on maintaining her pure image, and will cheat on her if her boyfriend finds out. A girl who is so jealous of her mother is actually stupid and sweet? What misunderstandings do you have about Chabadian? Or are there too few adjectives, and have read too few books, so you can't even find an accurate adjective? When you see a normal girl who has a gentle and kind heart, a high emotional intelligence, and does not kill people or set fire, do you call her a silly girl? Calm and gentle tone of discussion. I recommend a book, I Can See Combat Power. The author is Chubizu, with novel ideas, humorous writing, and touching plot. It is a masterpiece by a famous writer who has made a god in one book. It is worth reading. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm really immortal. Author, Chu Lian Kui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 602. The New Year's Day holiday is neither long nor short. Only some students in the province or in the cities and counties where their families live are directly connected by high-speed rail to go home, and most of them stay in school. There are also some cashiers who organize various New Year's Day activities, such as hiking, camping, donkey lessons, etc. What does it mean to learn from a donkey? It's just stupid activities like donkeys, such as traveling to uninhabited areas or undeveloped scenic spots to commit suicide. What is it if it's not a donkey? There are still many innocent and lively people in the group of college students. However, most people still choose to stay in their dormitories, or go to internet cafes with roommates to have night games, which are also extremely enjoyable and healthy activities for the body and mind. The school held timely art exhibitions to enhance the students' aesthetic taste. It was originally a very meaningful plan, but in fact, the visitors were mainly relatives and friends of the exhibitors who invited them through their WeChat moments. For example, Lu Chang'an brought in Nuan and her mother. The standard of this exhibition is unexpectedly high. Some of the pieces are very innovative. Teacher Wang also participated in the exhibition. He has won the highest award in the calligraphy and painting competition in our office. How many people are in your office? 3. 1 participation award, 1 encouragement award, and 1 excellence award. Good. I saw a freshman who used a bunch of crab shells to build something that looked like an alien. It was quite innovative. Yes, there is also a student who restored leftover chicken bones into chicken skeleton specimens, which is quite impressive. Listening to the conversations of other visitors, Lu Yuang couldn't help but hesitate. What kind of exhibition is this? There is no threshold at all, no review. Won't these crab shells and chicken bones stink? Fortunately, it's winter, so the smell is probably not that strong, right? The restoration of chicken bones into skeletal specimens is actually very good, because the author does not simply leave the bones of the chicken. The specimen needs to fix the position of the bones and accurately identify the position of each bone. A chicken there are 120 bones, and the chicken spine is the most difficult part of the skeletal specimen to process because it has 39 separate bones, followed by the chicken feet because the bones are too small. Lu Chang'an, this chicken skeleton specimen is not the work you asked us to see, right? Lu Yuang couldn't help but doubt after hearing Lu Chang'an's talk. Then, that's also very impressive and worth seeing. Liago hesitated for a moment and supported his boyfriend in a stiff tone. Then I'm really glad that this was a surprise. I wasn't asked to send a message to Moments to ask people to come and watch. Otherwise, my friends would have come to the scene and found out that I was asking them to come and watch a pile of leftover chicken bones. I'd better keep my face at home. Lu Yuang patted his chest. There was no doubt about Lu Chang'an's ability. I had seen his calligraphy and his paintings and felt that the works he participated in the exhibition must be of high quality. I didn't even think about it. Through other situations. That's not my work. The bones of small animals are very fine and subtle, but as an exhibition, large creatures like dinosaurs and whales are more suitable. Do you know giraffes? Giraffes have only a few bones in their necks. Isn't it interesting? It's boring. It's boring. Lu Chang'an will not tell stories about the animal world. Admission to the free exhibition requires an ID card and just passes the security check. Lu Yuang secretly pressed the number showing his age on his ID card, but the security inspector was a teacher from the school on duty. Who didn't know Professor Lu? He didn't think it was suspicious that she was covering up her ID card like this, so she let her go. Mom, there's no point in doing this. All the teachers in the school know your age and know you, so what's the use of hiding your age? And Nuan followed Lu Yuang in confusion. Lu Yuang turned around and inserted her fingers into Nuan's eyes. Fortunately, Nuan was prepared and avoided it wisely. Lu Yuang slapped Nuan reluctantly a few times. The ID card was really scary. Normally, Lu Yuwang would not look at the ID card at all. He just needed to take it out and use it. Who wants to know the numbers displayed on it? What is this mess? Lu Chang'an followed behind and looked at the mother and daughter who seemed to get along like sisters. The corners of his mouth were slightly raised. He rarely had the same view as Lu Yuwang, that is, the numbers on the ID cards had no meaning to him. It's so vicious, and Nuan escaped from Lu Yuwang's pursuit and came over to hold Lu Chang'an's arm. Lu Yuwang snorted. A woman's right to keep her age a secret is sacred and inviolable. The three of them wandered around the exhibition center and met Nuan's classmates Bai Wanwan, Ding Lin, and Gu Meng. Zhao Xiaotong, whom Nuan thought was the green tea girl, was not there. This is normal, since she is called green tea. Sister, how come you don't even have a date on such a vacation? So they walked together, and it became lively. As a result, a group of people, including Lu Yuwang, who was originally the most disdainful, stayed in front of the crab shell and chicken skeleton works for the longest time. On the contrary, Lu Chang'an did not pay much attention. For those who studied biology, this kind of thing is actually rare and common. Didn't you also participate in the exhibition? And Nuan seemed to have just started talking to Lu Chang'an about this topic. His voice was not loud, but it was enough to attract the attention of Bai Wanwan and others. Since crab shells and chicken skeletons can amaze them, then their boyfriend's works will definitely make them feel even more amazing. Lu Yuwang rolled her eyes at Nuan. This girl is really capable. She treasures her boyfriend all the time. She always feels that the whole world is trying to compete with her for her boyfriend, but she can't help but show off her boyfriend everywhere. How good, capable, and talented my friend is. Just like, if she didn't show off Lu Chang'an's facial cream in front of Lu Yuwang, would something like that happen later? Please come this way. Since it was his girlfriend's wish, Lu Chang'an was very willing to comply and acted like a guide. Lu Chang'an, you are also participating in the exhibition, don't you think you have artistic talent? Bai Wanwan laughed in surprise. It doesn't seem like a performance art like beating people live. Of course not. Lu Chang'an also laughed. After all, he was an old classmate. Bai Wanwan didn't look at her secretly like other girls, but because of Nuan, she was embarrassed to take the initiative to talk to him. Nuan, what is your boyfriend's work? Ding Lin said to Nuan curiously. You must have known about it a long time ago. It is well known that Nuan likes to show off her boyfriend. The most common things in her space are things related to her boyfriend. She has never seen a girl who treasures her boyfriend so much. She is so fanatical about her boyfriend. Like a fan. I just found out. Nuan looked at Lu Chang'an and acted calmly as if he was not surprised. Lu Yuwang opened her mouth, wanting to ridicule Nuan, but she decided not to do it. She wanted to give her some face in front of outsiders, and she also had to maintain her own image. How could the elegant Professor Lu show a harsh and mean face? A group of people came to the corridor and saw a strange painting. The painting is 7 or 8 meters long, but a piece is missing here and a piece is missing there. It looks like a complete picture scroll, which has been cut into pieces. Many parts have been removed, and the remaining parts are mounted on the back. Seeing Lu Chang'an stop, Lu Yuwang looked at him inexplicably. Could this be your exhibit? It really feels like performance art. Bai Wanwan couldn't help laughing. If it were a good painting, the length of the painting would be enough to make people amazed. Today's art is so incomprehensible. Another classmate, Ding Lin and Gu Meng, also sighed with emotion. They both widened their eyes and wanted to understand what kind of artistic concept was expressed. This seems to be the scene along the river during the Qingming festival. Nuan didn't understand either, and her eyes widened as well, but she and Lu Yuwang went to watch along the river during the Qingming festival together when it was exhibited in the Forbidden City, and they were very impressed. No, look at this wine shop under the high platform. The men resting here along the river during the Qingming festival took off their shirts, indicating that the weather is hot. This is also the peculiarity of Zhang Zhejuan's original work. It is difficult to distinguish the four seasons in the clothing of pedestrians in the entire painting. Lu Yuwang frowned slightly while thinking, but in this painting, there is the same man in the same position, but he is wearing a coat, making it look like the climate is cold. Look at the people in other places, they are obviously dressed in early spring. Professor Lu has good vision, Lu Chang'an praised. When Lu Yuwang was a housewife, a young mother, and a single woman, she looked like a vase, but in many fields she was still able to demonstrate knowledge that matched her status as a professor. And knowledge. This painting is not any version of Along the River during the Qingming festival, but judging from the remaining parts, the painting skills are excellent. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is so lifelike that it is difficult to tell the authenticity from the fake. Lu Yuwang was in disbelief. He leaned close to the display cabinet and came to his senses when his nose touched the glass. Chang'an, did you paint this? This is not a painting by me. This is the original version of Along the River during the Qingming festival. Lu Chang'an shook his head. If this were the original version of Along the River during the Qingming festival, I would eat it, Lu Yuwang said angrily. You actually said you wanted to eat my Chong Sam, and Nuan didn't believe it either. The original version of Along the River during the Qingming festival is in the Forbidden City, but she still wanted to stand on her boyfriend's side and stop those who questioned Lu Chang'an. The Along the River during the Qingming festival in the Forbidden City was created by Li Dao. No, it was the second version presented to the emperor by Zhang Zhejuan. This is the first version he painted, Lu Chang'an explained. You know a lot, what you said is true. Bai Wanwan showed a look of admiration. Dinglin and Gu Meng also laughed. Regardless of whether it is true or false, Lu Chang'an's exhibit is really shocking to everyone. You cut a painting into a mess and consider it an art exhibition? I think that chicken skeleton specimen is more interesting than yours. Lu Yuwang took the opportunity to attack Lu Chang'an, mainly by attacking Lu Chang'an, and then severely injuring an warm. Not at all. That chicken skeleton specimen stinks, and Nuan said angrily to the students, you can judge which one is better. This. It's really hard to say. Difficult. This is not my work, Lu Chang'an said. No? Just now you clearly stated that this was on display by you, Lu Yuwang asked strangely. This is what I am exhibiting, but Along the River during the Qingming festival is just used as a background board, and my work is in it. Lu Chang'an pointed to the bottom of the scroll. The morning sunlight filtered through the corridor, through the floor-to-ceiling windows, and fell on the dark cobblestones. On the round stones, there was a rattan box. The box was so quiet that it attracted everyone's attention at this moment. Go and open the box, Lu Chang'an said to An Nuan. And Nuan was slightly surprised, but soon thought of something. He had told her not long ago. And Nuan suddenly raised his head and looked at the painting above. Lu Yuwang also reacted, and the two of them stared at the painting together. The other girls haven't reacted yet. They are still looking at the box. Why is Lu Chang'an so serious? This is not a painting, this is a piece of cloth. After making clothes from a piece of cloth, cut the remaining fabric, Lu Yuwang said through gritted teeth, feeling like he was being teased by Lu Chang'an again. Lu Yuwang is Wang Jiangzi's good friend. When Wang Jiangzi makes clothes by himself, Lu Yuwang will not avoid Lu Yuwang. Some custom-made patterns of cloth are used to make only one piece of clothing in a roll, and the pattern on the cloth is followed. Come and cut the material. After the entire roll of cloth is cut, take away the pieces of fabric that need to be used to make clothes, and the remaining pieces will look like the painting in front of you. Witty Lu Chang'an still smiled and praised the beautiful Professor Lu. Lu Yuwang wanted to do what An Nuan often did, jump over and push him to the ground and hammer him wildly. Or she could throw away her hands and not watch this infuriating scene, but she wanted to see what clothes Lu Chang'an had made for An Nuan. When the other girls heard Lu Yuwang's explanation, they understood and looked at An Nuan in disbelief. Did this girl save the universe in her previous life? Does such a boyfriend have to save the universe to find him? And Nuan was already overjoyed. She quickly took the key from Lu Chang'an's hand, opened the glass door and ran in, squatting in front of the rattan box. And Nuan looked back at Lu Chang'an, who nodded. And Nuan then opened the box. There is a skirt inside the box. The winter sun seemed to have exhausted all its strength at this moment, shining in the fierce light. The shallow flowing water under the cobblestone seems to have been stirred by time. The beautiful girl lifted up a dress that had traveled through thousands of years. The first version of Zhang Zejuan's Along the River during the Qingming Festival scroll is used as the main clothing material. Designer and producer, Lu Chang'an. Its name is Surfing the River during Qingming Festival. To the cutest girl in Nuan. When I was writing, I happened to be listening to Li Yugong's Along the River during Qingming Festival. I'm really immortal. Author, Chulian Kuikan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 603. The skirt is made of canvas as the main material, and the lining is another snow-white fabric. Thin wool is pasted on the inside to keep warm. The outer gauze is transparent, and the weaving thread is very thin and almost transparent. It is dust-proof but does not block the canvas. The pattern will even give the pattern inside a hazy dynamic feel. Just like the dynamic version of Along the River during the Qingming Festival that is displayed in many places, I always feel that the river, the pedestrians, the donkeys and horses coming and going, seem to be moving slowly. And Nuan held up the skirt and looked at it carefully. There were very few stitches in the whole skirt, especially the canvas in the middle layer. It looked more like a famous painting embedded in the mezzanine, and the remnants stuck to the wall. The fabric is different. The canvas used in the interlayer has been softened and has a soft feeling like flowing water. The most dreamy thing is the crimson lace, which is used like the border of a scroll of painting. The obviously deep color has become the most vivid rendering of the dreamy painting. And Nuan carefully turned over the skirt, arms, and collar. She couldn't help lowering her head and smelling it. There was a fresh smell, just like the smell on Lu Chang'an's body. Sure enough, it was sewn by him, stitch by stitch. And Nuan couldn't help but lowered her head, sniffed her face, touched the beautiful little skirt, turned her head and looked at Lu Chang'an softly with watery eyes. Oh my God, it's so sexy, Lu Chang'an, how did you do it? Bai Wanwan looked at the little skirt inside in disbelief. Dinglin and Gu Meng clung to the glass window, scratching at the glass with their hands regardless of appearance, as if they could feel the gorgeous and elegant little skirt from a distance. The remaining fabric, can I still make one? Lu Yuwang pulled Lu Chang'an behind, lowered his voice, and his eyes were shining. Oh my God, a woman must have such a skirt. She felt that her heart was beating so fast that she couldn't stop it. Breathe. Even explaining new designs and colors, blockbuster new products from major fashion brands, and bags, shoes, jewelry, and watches that make women unable to move their feet, none of them made Lu Yuwang feel such a strong emotion. Possessive. At most, make a set of underwear. Lu Chang'an shook his head. These fabrics must be processed to maintain softness, and it does not mean that the area of the fabric is enough. It also requires the selection of patterns and colors, and trying to ensure that there are no too fine residues. Material. Just like this skirt made by Lu Chang'an, if an Nuan doesn't like it anymore, or if something goes wrong and it's not suitable to wear, Lu Chang'an can take it apart and restore it to the original Along the River during the Qingming Festival. As long as a painting is completely restored without affecting its visual expression, such cropping will have almost no damage to its existential significance and historical research value. Lu Yuwang was greatly disappointed. Was she that kind of stuffy person wearing flashy underwear? She couldn't imagine the style of underwear made of such colors, but she looked at the small skirt in an Nuan's hand. Lu Chang'an's aesthetic and design tastes were so pretty good, and he might have ingenious designs. Does it make people feel okay? But, if you ask him to make a set of underwear for you, something won't feel right when you wear it. And An Nuan, who is jealous of her mother's jealousy against fire and theft, will definitely not agree with what Lu Chang'an made for Lu Yuang. An Nuan walked out with her skirt in hand and a vine box in her other hand. This box also had a very contemporary feel and matched the dress very well. An Nuan, can you show us what you're wearing? Ding Lin said impatiently. Yes, when we came here just now, there was a rest room over there. You can go there to change. Gu Meng also nodded vigorously. Let's go, Bai Wan pulled the person directly. Yeah. And Nuan squeaked and looked back at Lu Chang'an. When she saw Lu Chang'an nodded, she followed them. Lu Yuang retracted her envious eyes, so the request she made to Takano Ning last time was not too much. Why can't An Nuan's boyfriend be so good, and she can't find a boyfriend who can fully satisfy all her vanity? Lu Chang'an, how old are you? Lu Yuang asked casually without any other meaning, just feeling a little angry. 18. Lu Yuang raised the bag in his hand, ready to fight, but after looking at the other visitors, he endured it. It was also at this time that many people realized that the real name of this exhibition design named Songshigi should be dog food. But I have to admire the wonderful ideas of the exhibitors, just like the text phoenix carving that many older people learned when they were young. That piece of cloth at the corner, you make me a shawl, I won't hit you. Lu Yuang made several beating movements, the amplitude was not large, and he was silent. Let others find out. You go ahead and hit me. Anyway, it doesn't make any difference whether you hit me or An Nuan hits me, Lu Chang'an replied calmly. What I mean is, I mean to let bygones be bygones, Lu Yuang said through gritted teeth. He should have understood what he was saying. Letting go of the past means that she knows what you have done in the past. Chi means next to a double person, and chu means ding, right? If you read the words separately, it means reluctant, very reluctant, right? Lu Yuang is still a bit professional, Lu Chang'an is, of course she can understand such an unpleasant expression. Witty. I don't care, just agree to it anyway. Lu Yuang didn't care whether he was willing or unwilling. Anyway, the point was his design and his work, not his intention. All she wants is a pretty shawl. The exhibition is over, I'll do it again. Lu Chang'an nodded. He had clearly just made an online friend before, so why did it become that he was at fault? At this time, many people, standing in the corridor, seemed to suddenly feel something, and turned their heads to look to the other side. The tall girl walked over step by step, stepping on the mottled light and shadow passing through the fallen leaves, feeling a little helpless and shy. Her shadow is slender and tall, like a dancing red-crowned crane. The sunlight falls on her white stockings, seeming to reflect away all the heat, leaving only a warm color, making people's eyes soften when they look at it. The gauze on the skirt seems to be woven by the moonlight filtering the coldness, and it is like the clouds and mist over the city in the picture. It is also like the time that has traveled through thousands of years to say nothing to future generations, unwilling to reveal the prosperous face. Going up the river during the Qingming festival has been amazing for 1,000 years. The girl wearing it picked the waves from the long river of time, and together with her appearance, she became the stunning beauty in the world. Thin applause rang out. No one expected to see such a high-level fashion work at an amateur art exhibition. The most important thing was that the girl wearing it controlled it so beautifully. I don't know what to say other than envy, Bai Wan lamented. Sometimes it's really sad when you feel hopeless in life when you want something. At this time, Ding Lin and Gu Meng even felt that they understood Zhao Xiaotong a little bit. Zhao Xiaotong was going to be here today, so he might go to Lu Chang'an to ask for his contact information regardless. You can spend a lot of time watching the exhibition. After seeing this skirt, An Nuan and Lu Yuang had no intention of shopping anymore. An Nuan did not put the skirt on directly because she thought it was Lu Chang'an's exhibition work. She could not take the skirt away and make others think that Lu Chang'an's works were just rags on the wall. Her boyfriend's face must be taken into consideration. Even though she knew that Lu Chang'an didn't care about other people's opinions at all, she just didn't like others making biased comments about Lu Chang'an and looking down on him. "Where are your bones? Did they get hit by the bone-transforming palm?" Lu Yuwang said to An Nuan, who was hanging on Lu Chang'an's body after walking out of the exhibition center. To be precise, Lu Yuwang felt that An Nuan was like a plaster of dog skin that had just been burned. Sticky and disgusting. Yes, An Nuan chuckled. An Nuan's smile reminded Lu Yuwang of Zhou Dongdong. During that dinner party, when Lu Yuwang gave Zhou Dongdong some delicious food, Zhou Dongdong had this silly smile. But Zhou Dongdong is very cute when he smiles, and An Nuan makes people very unhappy just looking at him. Lu Yuwang didn't want to talk to An Nuan anymore. She even suspected that as long as Lu Chang'an waved, An Nuan would run over and lie in front of him and let him touch his head, or roll on the ground and let him touch his belly. "What's for lunch today?" Lu Yuwang started a new topic. Now that she was a little used to Lu Chang'an's presence, Lu Chang'an had to make up his mind about the meal. There is no way, whether it is ordering or cooking, Lu Chang'an can completely convince Lu Yuwang and An Nuan not to cause trouble, not to point fingers and express opinions. This is their current self-consciousness. "It's quite cold today, let's buy some dog meat to eat," Lu Chang'an thought for a while. Cold cuts or hot pot? For cold cuts, you need to bleed it when killing it, otherwise the meat will have a fishy smell. We usually don't bleed it here, because it is often done in braised, dry pot, stewed and then stir-fried. The taste is strong and the fishy smell is early. It has been covered up, but the purchased dog meat is no longer suitable for cold dishes. "So that's it," Lu Yuwang said, suddenly looking at An Nuan with a smile. An Nuan frowned. "I really don't understand a mother who always calls her daughter a licker. What's so funny about herself? An Nuan is her biological child. Isn't scolding An Nuan the same as scolding herself?" Lu Chang'an went to buy dog meat and saw arhat meat. He bought some at the same time and made a sumptuous winter meat feast for the couple at noon. "Why is this meat called Luohan meat?" When Lu Chang'an started cooking, Lu Yu took a look at the kitchen. Luohan meat is a piece of meat from the edge of the pork liver. It is sandwiched with tendons and membranes. It is tough and chewy. Fujian people like to cook it directly, slice it and eat it dipped in shrimp oil. It is said that people in Fujian who grew up eating Luohan meat have grown up. When a person goes to southern Shaolin to become a disciple, he can immediately become an arhat, so it is called arhat meat, and Cantonese people also particularly like to eat this kind of Fujian meat. "What? Are you lying?" Lu Yuwang looked at Lu Chang'an, who was cutting meat suspiciously. "Ah, you saw it," Lu Chang'an said in surprise. Such a flawless story could reveal that he was lying. He is indeed Professor Lu. "Mom, you go watch TV. I'll help." Lu Chang'an and Nuan hurriedly walked in. She found that she was sitting on the sofa in the living room, replying to Moments and Space comments. Professor Lu was already alone with Lu Chang'an in the kitchen. Been together for several minutes. "You're in the kitchen, it's better to chop his hands off." Lu Yuwang has long been used to it, and is well aware of An Nuan's little thoughts. He doesn't bother to scold An Nuan anymore, and walks lazily to the living room while twisting his waist. "I lay down and watched TV. In the past, when I posted, some readers always felt that I was in trouble, and warned and reminded me in a very serious and disgusting tone. Really, sometimes I feel that I am inferior, and it is often just the level of a small number of readers that cannot keep up. I am very happy to criticize readers today. Of course, I am also someone who is criticized every day. I'm really immortal." Author, Chu Lian Kui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 604. An Nuan is a girl who is passionately in love. The corners of her mouth are always raised, her eyes are shining, and her hair is fluttering when there is no wind, because the happiness in her heart always makes her restless and jumping up and down all the time. The way it looks. What was my mother talking to you just now? En Nuan asked casually. She asked me what kind of meat this was, Lu Chang'an said, pointing to the meat on the chopping board. What kind of meat is this? This meat is arhat meat, and the name is similar to the saying of Buddha jumping over the wall, Lu Chang'an explained. Then why did you talk about something that can be explained clearly in one sentence for so long? En Nuan asked doubtfully. Because I lied to her and said that Fujian people love to eat this kind of meat. If you go to southern Shaolin to become a disciple, you will easily become an arhat if you often eat this kind of meat. Moreover, Fujian people who often eat arhat meat are also the favorites of Cantonese people. You can't tease her like this, and Nuan became alert. Girls are like this. If the boy she likes teases her often, she will like him even more. No matter whether it is to make her happy or to tease her, she will like him more. It's the same when she's angry. So that's how you fell in love with me? Lu Chang'an suddenly understood and nodded. Girls are really magical. I remember that when I teased you before, you often looked so angry, but are you so happy in your heart? Of course, and Nuan shook her body sweetly. Shaking M. You hate it? Don't say that to me, and Nuan pinched the flesh of Lu Chang'an's waist, but actually girls have this tendency, he. I don't believe it. You look so pure and silly and cute, how could you be a jerk? I can't accept it. Lu Chang'an raised his head in disbelief. You're so annoying, and Nuan stood up on tiptoes and blocked his mouth, preventing him from teasing her anymore. Lu Yuwang felt that it was not too much to think that Anyuan was a dogskin plaster. At most, the ingredients had been improved, it smelled delicious and had cute prints on it, but after all, it was still a dogskin plaster, which was particularly sticky. And Nuan accompanied Lu Chang'an in the kitchen to cook. Lu Yuwang called several times to ask En Nuan to come out and watch TV with her, but he didn't move her. Lu Yuwang gradually realized a problem. If En Nuan and Lu Chang'an really got married in the future, even if they lived together, En Nuan would definitely roll into Lu Chang'an's arms while watching TV. Then wouldn't he be sitting alone on the sofa all the time? The other end? Or you can even hug a pillow. We had to make a pact with them to prohibit affection in front of Lu Yuwang. Lu Yuwang thought about it and brought it up at the dinner table. Mom, Gao Yaneng is a bit annoying, but there should be nothing wrong with his character, and he likes you very much. You should consider it. En Nuan sighed, a little helpless. Even though she initially said she wanted her mother to blackmail Gao Yaneng, she was just talking out of anger. Mr. Gao seemed to have no problem with his character, and En Nuan didn't want her mother to marry an old man. With her mother's conditions, what young hero couldn't be worthy of her? What nonsense are you talking about? Lu Yuwang remembered the standards he had proposed to Gao Yaneng and coughed lightly. I don't need you to help me think about my personal issues. You can't even stand watching other people's love. It shows that your need for love has seriously affected your normal psychology, En Nuan said worriedly. Who needs it? I'm fine. Eat, and don't talk while eating. Lu Yuwang picked up a piece of arhat meat and threw it into En Nuan's bowl. En Nuan was a little helpless and stepped on Lu Chang'an under the table. She blamed her boyfriend for being so good that other women couldn't help but have the illusion that if I fell in love, I would be so happy, which made them also particularly want to fall in love. There is no way around this. After En Nuan stepped on Lu Chang'an, she smiled sweetly and gave him some food. Lu Chang'an didn't speak from the beginning to the end, and he couldn't understand the messy psychological activities behind their words and deeds. It is said that a woman's heart is like a needle in the sea. In fact, it is really difficult to find a needle in a haystack. In addition to the vast area, the most important thing is that many hidden undersea creatures that have not been discovered by humans are very dangerous. This is the case for Otva-like creatures, for example. Many people believe that their original form became extinct 600 million years ago, but in fact they have successfully evolved to a state similar to that in the movie Deep Chill. Some people compare women to ultraviolet creatures, and Lu Chang'an doesn't know why. It's really strange. Even an outspoken person like Lu Chang'an would not discuss with them why they resemble ultraviolet creatures. After lunch, Lu Yuwang was about to take a nap. Lu Chang'an promised that the children at home would go to the zoo today and went back first. En Nuan originally wanted to go to the zoo, but she decided to go to the exhibition center in the afternoon. She wanted to keep her skirt up. Lu Chang'an had just walked not far when he saw a Rolls-Royce Cullinan moving slowly like a turtle. This model is very rare in Junxia, and most of the cars that will appear on the campus of Hunan University are Zhu Huntang's cars. The car stopped next to Lu Chang'an, and the car window rolled down, revealing Zhu Huntang's gloomy face. "Are you patrolling the campus?" Lu Chang'an asked casually when he saw her car running so slowly. "I'm delaying the time to study. If I spend more time on the road, then I can spend less time studying." Zhu Huntang's eyebrows wrinkled. When he thought about having to study during the holiday, Zhu Huntang felt heartbroken. "It's a day off today. My mother said that I often didn't bring books to class and didn't study seriously. It happened that my little cousin invited a professor who was hard to find to come to class, and my little cousin didn't have time to take classes recently. My mother felt that we couldn't waste the opportunity and let I have to listen to that old man who doesn't go on vacation to earn extra money for the entire New Year's Day." Zhu Huntang was very angry and added, "When I say old man, I don't usually mean you. Call you a bad old man. Are you itchy again?" Lu Chang'an smiled sympathetically. This is the most effective way for a guy like Zhu Huntang to deal with her. Destroying stockings and skirts, tying them up, and putting tape on them all can't stop her at all. She will still seek death as usual. Only by learning this kind of punishment can she remember it for a long time. Some people may go to class occasionally and study normally, but if they are asked to attend class when they feel they should rest, they will be miserable. Zhu Huntang is such a person. "You get in the car and play some games with me. Later, my little cousin will report that I am late, so I will explain to my mother that I met you and wasted time with you, so my mother will not. You can talk about me," Zhu Huntang said wittily. "Miss Third, I'm still in the car," Zhong Qing said helplessly. She is the person responsible for supervising Zhu Huntang. "You didn't hear anything just now." Zhu Huntang tilted his head and looked at Zhong Qing. Zhong Qing adjusted her glasses and gave Lu Chang'an a pleading look. She didn't mind the delicate and feminine look in her eyes. Anyway, everyone is so familiar with each other, and he even let her go. Even for such a ruthless man, isn't it normal for him to be softer on his mistress afterwards and accept her slightly coquettish request? "I'm going to the zoo." Of course Lu Chang'an was not interested in playing games with Zhu Huntang. Playing games with Zhu Huntang would be better than playing with Zhou Dongdong with building blocks. "I really want to go to the zoo." "Do you think going to the zoo for us biology students counts as studying?" Zhu Huntang suddenly thought of an excellent reason. Lu Chang'an sighed, "This is a naughty kid who tries his best to refuse to learn." While they were talking, a man and a woman walked over from a distance. "Hey, isn't this the man in the Luoxifen couple?" Wu Qinglian looked at Lu Chang'an with a smile. "Yes, definitely. I'm very impressed," he was scolded by his girlfriend, "but we are really interested in Hunan University and want you to be our tour guide. Shouldn't we meet at Hunan University?" Wu Qinglian lazily put his hands in his pockets and looked at Lu Chang'an with squinted eyes. "It's true that they are enemies on a narrow road, it doesn't really count. After all, it's just a small conflict over language and a bit of a loss of face." Wu Qinglian smiled. He knew that his sister liked this type. He looked at his whole body exuding the tranquility and peace of time. A boy with a long temperament. "Today is New Year's Day, and your girlfriend is not around. I wonder if the handsome guy is interested in visiting Hunan University with us. I heard that there is an art exhibition at Hunan University today, but we can't find a place." Wu Qinglian smiled. Invite. Handsome guy, you're not going to give me face today, are you? Wu Qinglian helped. Lu Chang'an smiled, he was going to the zoo. Zhu Huntang got out of the car. She was a little curious about the person who seemed to know that Lu Chang'an had a girlfriend and wanted to dig around the corner to loosen the soil. After taking a look, Zhu Huntang was immediately disappointed. This woman is really a big-faced woman. She looks like a gangster. She actually came to dig into the corner of building 2. She was not a threat at all. There was no excitement at all. He probably had never looked in the mirror before. Zhu Huntang turned to look at Lu Chang'an and burst into laughter. He was actually being stared at by such a woman. Zhu Huntang. Zhu Huntang was laughing at Lu Chang'an, but Wu Qinglian called out Zhu Huntang's name, the smile on his face disappeared without a trace, and he glared at Zhu Huntang. Zhu Huntang was stunned for a moment. I didn't expect to see you here. You guys still know each other. No wonder you are so arrogant, but we misjudged you. Wu Qinglian calmed down and said coldly. Who would have thought that among the couples eating screws in the shabby alleys of Junsha, the man among them would actually know a wealthy daughter like Zhu Huntang? Of course, most of the so-called wealthy daughters are just minors in front of Zhu Huntang. Just a child from every family. He seems to have a good relationship with Zhu Huntang. Such a person must not have an ordinary background. It's no wonder that he didn't react and showed timidity when he saw Wu Qinglian's supercar. Who are you? Zhu Huntang frowned slightly. I hate it when people I don't know call my name. What's so annoying about this? Lu Chang'an asked. This way I have to think about who he is, and then I can't remember it. It will make people think that I am arrogant. Zhu Huntang said unhappily. She is obviously very approachable and amiable, because she is only 3 years younger than Lu Chang'an. Senior, so it's okay to use amiable. If she were his fairy sheep mount, then the mount would usually be of the same age as its owner and would be more amiable. It makes sense. Lu Chang'an nodded in approval. He Zhu Huntang laughed, grabbed Lu Chang'an's arm and patted it. I was joking, you didn't notice. I don't care. Did not see it. Zhu Huntang, you are really a noble and forgetful person. Have you forgotten that when I was in junior high school, you had someone beat me, so I had to go to England to go to school? Wu Qinglian found that he was still attracted by Zhu Huntang. Ignoring it, the anger in my heart couldn't be restrained again. Then have you apologized to me? Zhu Huntang didn't even remember this person, so naturally he didn't remember whether the other party had apologized. You, apologized to you? Your people beat my bodyguard so much that they were hospitalized, and my brother was beaten to a bloody head by your people. Are you still apologizing to you? Wu Qinglian was also very angry. What happened to her brother? Of course she knew. Otherwise. It's not his fault, why would I hit him? Are you a pig? You don't understand such a simple truth. Zhu Huntang felt uncomfortable looking at Wu Qinglian. It doesn't matter that he is so tall, but he is still so ugly, so stupid, no wit at all. Zhu Huntang, this is not Taiwan, don't be so arrogant. Wu Qing pointed at Zhu Huntang, his fingers trembling a little. When he was in junior high school, Zhu Huntang was extremely arrogant. He didn't expect that after so long, she would still be so arrogant. This one looks like the eyes are on the top of the head. Haha, this is not Taiwan, but this is southern Hunan. You haven't asked if you have come to southern Hunan. Who has the final say in this place? Zhu Huntang faked a few funny laughs, and he was awesome. He put his hands on his hips, then thought about the incompleteness of his expression, stretched out his arms and hugged Lu Chang'an's arm. I have an even bigger and thicker thigh to hold onto. After saying that, Zhu Huntang reached over and bumped Lu Chang'an's arm. Look at you, you fathead. Lu Chang'an pushed Zhu Huntang away in disgust, and left directly without bothering about her troubles. He also wanted to go to the zoo. Seeing a fairy sheep does not mean that he has been to the zoo. No. It's not greasy at all. My hair today looks like a curved corner. It's super cute. Only then did Zhu Huntang remember that she forgot to remind him of her special hairstyle. She followed his back and walked a few steps to talk, waiting for Lu Chang'an. He glanced back at her before walking back again. Wu Qinglian and Wu Qinglian were both stunned. They couldn't help but stare at Lu Chang'an's back. If Zhu Huntang had thick thighs, then, what kind of person would he be? Of course the Wu family siblings know how powerful the Zhu family is in Taiwan, and no one really cares about it. Of course the Zhu family cannot be the same in the mainland, but they also have powerful help. But even the Qin family, Zhu Huntang wouldn't hug each other so intimately and say it was her thick thighs, would he? Could it be that his thighs are thicker than those of the Qin family? Wu Qinglian and Wu Qinglian looked at each other. Fortunately, they just invited people to be tour guides. Thinking about it carefully, it seems, they shouldn't really offend you, right? Seeing that the man just left didn't look like an accountant, Wu Qinglian glanced at his sister with some anxiety. What else are you thinking about? Wu Qing pushed Wu Qinglian, who was staring at her back. His sister is very popular in Europe and the United States, but people here don't have such high-end aesthetics. Go away, you idle people, don't block my car. I'm going to study. This Lu Chang'an won't take me to the zoo. Zhu Huntang muttered and got in the car. Lu Chang'an? Wu Qinglian did know his name. After getting over the slump today, a big chapter suddenly appeared, and without interrupting updates yesterday, it seems that I have gradually regained my status. Please give me a monthly ticket so that I can continue to improve my status. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm really immortal. Author, Chulian Kui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 606. Lu Chang'an walked to the subway entrance and took the subway back, because the afternoon in winter is short after all, and it gets dark early. Back home, Lu Chang'an saw Shang Guandandan and Zhou Dongdong sitting at the electric heating table eating, each with a bowl of rice. The bowl is very big and contains many dishes. Zhou Shuling prepared it in the morning and left it for them to eat for lunch. They just need to heat it in the microwave. Shang Guandandan's habit of using the microwave oven was to press every button, but she soon discovered that if she pressed every button, it would be impossible to heat the food. Only then did she correct her habit and was able to use the microwave correctly. Hurry up and finish your meal. We'll set off as soon as we're done, Lu Chang'an said. Where is my wife? Shang Guan asked calmly. She has something to do this afternoon and won't go with us. Lu Chang'an knew that she was talking about An Nuan and didn't bother to correct her title. Among the people Shang Guanduntan has called daughter-in-law so far, Shang Guanduntan's favorite is Zhou Shuling, followed by Qin Yanan, and the one he dislikes the most is Sunangziu. Zhou Dongdong is gnawing on the pig's trotters, and his two paws are also greasy. After all, it is a bit difficult for children to control one side of the pig's trotters with chopsticks. Only by grabbing it with both hands can they gnaw off the pig's trotters well. Muscles. In fact, for adults, pig's trotters should be eaten by grabbing them with hands, and similarly there are steaks and legs. Zhou Dongdong is wearing a red woolen hat, Zhou Shuling's work. There is a hole on the top of the hat, which allows Zhou Dongdong's stubble-like hair to stick out from there. Zhou Shuling has knitted a long hair underneath the hat for decoration. The thick woolen braids made Zhou Dongdong look like he had a water ladle upside down on his head. Zhou Shuling's aesthetics are as indescribable as ever, just like the square dance makeup she wears. After eating, they set off. Lu Chang'an suggested that Zhou Dongdong leave his hat at home. My hair will get cold, and it will fall out when it gets cold, and then I will become bald like Grandpa Qian. Zhou Dongdong pressed his hat, thinking about what he would look like if he became a bald grandfather. But if you become like a grandpa, you don't have to go to school. Grandpa doesn't have to go to school, Shang Guandandan said quickly. Zhou Dongdong quickly took off his hat. Let me see if your hair has fallen out. Shang Guandandan scratched Zhou Dongdong's head. Did it fall? Zhou Dongdong asked with concern. Not yet, it might fall off later. Zhou Dongdong scratched his hair and looked forward to it happily. Lu Chang'an held Zhou Dongdong's hand and stared at Shang Guandandan. This child is already so stupid. I advise you to be kind. Shang Guandandan stuck out his tongue, hung the thermos bottle on his shoulder, swung his hands and jumped out of the community first. But she didn't know how to get there, so she ran out of the community and stood under a telephone pole, looking at the advertisements for senior Chinese medicine practitioners and public relations, while waiting for Lu Chang'an and Zhou Dongdong. Different from the last time I went there, the metro station at the zoo has now opened, and the three of us took the metro together and arrived quickly. Zhou Dongdong was still very excited. He ran to the parking lot and the walking trail. He quickly braked and pressed his shoes against the floor tiles to stop. He carefully looked left and right, refusing to go forward. Lu Chang'an frowned slightly, and went over to hold her hand and walked forward for a while. Only then did Zhou Dongdong start bouncing innocently and lively again. Dongdong is a bit clumsy, but so cute. Shang Guandandan didn't understand why Zhou Dongdong didn't run away just now, but looking at Zhou Dongdong's every move, he always felt that he was so silly and cute. Zhou Dongdong is originally a little stupider than ordinary children, but this is normal. Some children's minds are opened later. However, some people are in their teens and 20s, and they still feel that a 6-year-old child cannot be as stupid as Zhou Dongdong. You are stupid, and you always think that if you haven't seen it, there shouldn't be other kinds of things, then you are really so stupid that it's hard to save, Lu Chang'an said calmly. Am I the teenager you are talking about? Shang Guandandan raised his hands angrily. I am more than 1,000 or 2,000, many years old, and those people you are talking about must be Zhou Dongdong's enemy. I am Zhou Dongdong's godmother. You want to be Zhou Dongdong's godmother? Are you trying to take advantage of me? Lu Chang'an suddenly thought of this question, because Zhou Dongdong calls Lu Chang'an Chang'an's brother. If you think so, there's nothing I can do about it. It's a good accent to learn. Are you praising me? Certainly. The three people walked into the zoo, first looked at the lemurs on the lemur island, and then came to the animal house where jackals, wolves, and leopards were concentrated. These dogs are all chubby, similar to Lu Si, and Zhou Dongdong couldn't tell the difference between them and dogs. In fact, there is no difference. They look similar and taste similar. What are you doing? Lu Chang'an saw Shang Guandandan waving to the animals inside, so he slapped Shang Guandandan's hand. He had to be wary of the little old lady lest he return with a bunch of zoo animals behind her. I'll say hello to them. Shang Guandandan frowned. Lu Chang'an must have suspected that she wanted to catch the animals here. Although she did have some thoughts, she didn't show it. We agreed that it's okay to come to the zoo, but no one comes to the zoo and packs up the animals to go home, Lu Chang'an reminded. What are you packing? Zhou Dongdong heard a word that was closely related to him. Nothing. Oh, let's go see the giant pandas. Ahead is the giant panda house. Then we went to see dolphins, elephants, rhinoceros, snakes, red pandas, various monkeys, and circus performances, and then finally saw the camel that Shang Guandandan had longed for in the car tour area. Camels are delicious, Shang Guandandan said to Zhou Dongdong. Have you ever eaten it? Zhou Dongdong bit his lip. The camel looked like a huge cake, which was indeed delicious, but it was a good friend of mankind. I have eaten it. Its meat is more delicious than other animals' meat. Moreover, it is very big. Many of us can eat it together. Can I eat for several days? Yes, camel hooves are particularly delicious when roasted. They are 100 times more delicious than the pig's trotters you ate today. It's so delicious. Brother Chang'an, have you ever eaten camel? He must have eaten it. You are the only one here who has not eaten it. Zhou Dongdong stopped talking, lying on the window of the tour bus and looking at the camels walking around outside. Lu Chang'an rolled his eyes at Shang Guandandan. Well, it's me, I have something to do. Can you roast a camel? Lu Chang'an called Qin Yinan. It seems very convenient to catch a camel from the zoo, but you still have to wait for the opportunity, and you have to monitor it carefully, and you have to transporting it back. Many times, normal channels that abide by laws and regulations are safer and more effective than fishing through sideways. As for Shang Guandandan's wishful thinking of letting the animals follow her back, it seems to be no trouble, but in fact, how can it be possible for her to get her wish easily? What? Qin Yinan's stomach shrank in shock. She was so maternal now that she quickly touched her belly and took deep breaths, as if the gestational sac in her belly was as fragile as the fetus of an ordinary pregnant woman. It's not surprising that Lu Chang'an wants to eat whatever he wants, except that the list of recipes and ingredients carefully prepared by Qin Yinan for Lu Chang'an is quite complete, but camel is not included in it. Camel hooves and camel lips are quite common, but the roasted camel he mentioned should be the method of roasting the whole camel. Well, Shang Guandandan and Zhou Dongdong want to eat, Lu Chang'an explained, lest Qin Yinan misunderstand that he is a foodie who wants to eat everything. Oh, it's Dongdong and Dandan. Are they around? Qin Yinan's voice suddenly dropped in tone. You put it on speakerphone. Lu Chang'an turned on the speakerphone. Dan? Dong. Oh, Miss Jean in the tour bus. Shang Guandandan didn't shout daughter-in-law. His voice was gentle but not lacking in the majesty of an elder. Zhou Dongdong didn't hear it. She was in the sad stage of childbirth. I heard Lu Chang'an say that if you want to eat roasted camel, I will get one for you, but it may take a day or two. When it is ready, I will ask you to come and eat, Qin Yinan said softly. What a good boy! Shang Guandandan touched his thermos bottle with satisfaction. He wanted to drink water when he went out to play. Of course, he brought the thermos bottle with him, not for any other purpose. Shang Guandandan hung up the phone and glanced at Lu Chang'an with some pride. Lu Chang'an put away his phone. Qin Yinan actually wanted to bypass Lu Chang'an and sell the favor directly to Shang Guandandan, as if he was afraid that Shang Guandandan would not know that she was filial. So much to think about. We'll have camels to eat in 2 days. Shang Guandandan and Zhou Dongdong bit their ears and spoke. Camels are human beings, good friends. After Zhou Dongdong finished speaking, he said seriously, but if it's ready, I'll just eat a little bit. My good friend who only eats you, I suspect that Songdazi will be eaten by you one day. Lu Chang'an shook his head. I don't know how to eat Songdazi. Songdazi is my good friend. If I eat her, wouldn't I be a child like a monster? I will be captured by Sun Wukong. Zhou Dongdong explained seriously why he couldn't eat it. Songdazi. After the three of them visited the zoo, Zhou Dongdong and Shang Guandandan were very happy, considering that not only did they see animals, but there were also camels to eat. Gone back. Little Zhou Dongdong still has 20,000 star points before she can celebrate her birthday. If you have time, give her a show of appreciation and give her some chicken drumsticks or something. I'm really immortal. Author, Chu Lian Kui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 607. The New Year's Day holiday plus Saturday and Sunday were 3 consecutive days off. The first day was fulfilling and enjoyable, but Lu Chang'an had some free time on the second day. He ate hot braised noodles mixed with shark skin in the morning and ostrich paw at noon. The ostrich paw we had for lunch was stewed with matsu-take mushrooms. The ostrich paw was rich in collagen and the stew was a tonic for Zhou Dongdong and Zhou Shuling. As far as collagen is concerned, there is no difference between the collagen in ostrich paws and chicken feet, but ostrich paws are more delicious than chicken feet, with more meat and a more delicious taste. Shang Guandandan does not need to supplement collagen, but she fills a pot full of ostrich soup in her thermos pot, If anyone remembers how huge her thermos pot is, they will know who is the one who can eat the most. Fortunately, an ostrich palm weighed several kilograms, and the stew was enough so that the others would not have enough. Zhou Dongdong only drank 3 bowls as usual, and Zhou Shuling was still the same housewife she was 20 or 30 years ago. There was a rare dish that she only ate a little bit, but she was keen to let her family eat more. However, Lu Chang'an slandered her that she had wrinkles under her eyes, so Zhou Shuling drank 3 bowls of it gloomily so that she could replenish collagen to repair it. At the same time, Lu Chang'an told her that ostrich palm is now considered a home-cooked dish and is often available in supermarkets, so Zhou Shuling took note of it. In the evening, I ate another ostrich palm. Lu Chang'an's knife skills were superb. He removed the big bones, sliced other parts, and made a stir-fry. An ostrich palm weighed several kilograms, which was enough for everyone. After dinner, Lu Chang'an went out. Gao Duai came back on December 31st. A classmate came to Juncha during the New Year's Day holiday. He came back with Gao Duai, and Gao Duai was responsible for entertaining him. On January 1st, Gao Duai accompanied this classmate to play at his home for a day, and on the 2nd, he came to the city to play with his old classmate. The old classmates are still the same, but Nuan didn't come out because she wanted to spend her birthday with her grandfather. Lin Xinhua was in charge of the treat today. Lin Xinhua's team will start playing in the LPL Professional League next year. They participated in the Dimasha Cup a few days ago. Although the team was eliminated, the performance of several players was remarkable, and the only place they lost was there is a lack of experience, but the growth potential is very considerable, especially for Lin Xinhua as a jungler. The three-way gank once helped the team gain a great advantage. If it weren't for the midterm assistant's wrong-timed group starts that ruined the advantage, Lin Xinhua might have won an MVP on his first professional appearance in his life. Lin Xinhua's team signed a contract with a live broadcast platform to increase the income of the players. Lin Xinhua's rank score has been ranked first for a long time, and now it has been in the top 10 of the Korean server. It has not fallen out of the rankings even when it was in bad form and lost consecutive games. At 20, he can quickly adjust and fight again. Youth is brave. Now Lin Xinhua's income is naturally good, especially compared to his classmates who don't have much work income yet. In fact, the richest person here is Lu Chang'an. Even though everyone knows that he owns a restaurant, the inherent impression is difficult to adjust for a while, and he does not have any performance that makes people think of a rich man. There are no trendy shoes or fashionable brands in his circle of friends and space. And there are no various travel photos. I still live the same ordinary life as I did in high school. Hello. Lu Chang'an came to the room Lin Xinhua had opened in the esports hotel and knocked on the door. The person who opened the door was not a classmate he knew or the team leader who always accompanied Lin Xinhua. It looked familiar. Lu Chang'an remembered it. He sent food to Gao Duai. Gao Duai took a video and sent it over. In it, a girl showed her face. It was this girl. At that time, Nuan compared her with Miao Yingying and thought that Miao Yingying was more beautiful. This girl was a bit of a double. After Lu Chang'an expressed his different opinions, he finally reached a unified opinion, and Nuan said right. Lu Chang'an, right. The girl's eyelids twitched twice as she looked at Lu Chang'an, then she immediately showed a smile of I've known you for a long time and pointed at Lu Chang'an. Yes, Lu Chang'an also nodded. He already knew that her double eyelids were glued on because she had double eyelids. But he is not a straight man like Gao Duai, and of course he will not praise her for her double eyelids. I'm Gao Duai's college classmate. I'm here to play in Juncha. My name is Tao Peiwen. Tao Peiwen stepped aside and led Lu Chang'an in. Welcome to the hometown of great men. I wish you a happy time. Lu Chang'an looked warm and hospitable. Although Tao Peiwen was having a good time, someone else would definitely not be happy, but Lu Chang'an would not meddle in other people's business. He was not as warm as an Bai Hui is a person whose eyes light up when he smells gossip. Of course, the rooms in the esports hotel are designed with as many details as international luxury brand hotels, but they are still quite spacious. As a gathering place for young people, it is still very good. When Lu Chang'an walked in, he saw Gao Duai, Lin Xinhua, and the leader of the Lin Xinhua team. Bai Hui was also there, and Miao Yingying was also here, which was a bit surprising. There were also two high school classmates, Zhao Chenchen and Lei Hong. Zhao Chenchen and An Nuan once received volleyball training from Lu Chang'an. This Lei Hong was silent in high school, but unexpectedly he had already won Zhao Chenchen. The two were holding hands and obviously in love. Zhao Chenchen, as the beautiful volleyball player of Hunan University, a member of the team, may not be a beautiful girl on the same level as An Nuan, but her height and long legs are quite eye-catching. Haha, you're here. Gao Dui hurriedly stood up and gave him a bear hug. I feel comfortable seeing you here. I don't know what's going on today. I always feel hot and cold, and something is wrong with my whole body. Lu Chang'an took a look and looked at the situation of the seat. Before Tao Piyiwen came to open the door, Gao Dui should have been sitting between Tao Piyiwen and Miao Yingying. Are you satisfied? I've lost weight. Lu Chang'an mentioned Gao Dui, and Gao Dui hugged him and sat down on another sofa. Lu Chang'an, Lin Xinhua and other students also said hello. Seeing Gao Dui and Lu Chang'an sitting together, Bai Hui pulled Miao Yingying to sit on the other side. This left Tao Piyiwen sitting in her original position. Tao Piyiwen stood up gracefully, and came over to talk to Lu Chang'an, talking about what she learned about Lu Chang'an from Gao Dui. This woman is difficult to deal with. Bai Hui saw the scene and was worried for Miao Yingying. Yes, Miao Yingying nodded. We were originally having a reunion of old classmates, and she had to come with her. Originally, the two of us got out of the way, and she was the only one left sitting there. Let her understand that she will be somewhat isolated if she squeezes into other people's circles. Who knows? She actually immediately went to find Lu Chang'an, who was the best to talk to. Bai Hui looked cautious, and this Tao Piyiwen felt that she was on par with An Nuan in terms of scheming. She's been talking to Lu Chang'an, aren't you worried? Miao Yingying somewhat hoped that Tao Piyiwen would be interested in Lu Chang'an. She felt that this would not be a threat to Bai Hui, because Lu Chang'an would not like Tao Piyiwen, who did not have any outstanding appearance or figure. Girls. The same cannot be said for Gao Dui. Miao Yingying still hasn't figured out what kind of girl this fool likes. What does it have to do with me? Bai Hui pinched Miao Yingying's arm. Lu Chang'an, as long as you don't take the initiative to cause trouble and just chat with him, he can spontaneously help you brighten the atmosphere of the chat. You see, just now it was Tao Piyiwen who was looking for topics, but now Lu Chang'an is talking nonsense. Tao Piyiwen has naturally integrated into the chat circle, and can also let Gao Dui's friends understand her. I heard them talking about mathematical weapons and equipment. What the hell is this? Miao Yingying was confused. Now they are talking about games again. Gao Dui said that he often plays double Q with Tao Piyiwen. Oh my god. Miao Yingying, what do you usually do? Bai Hui looked at Miao Yingying angrily. I have nothing to do every day. I just went to play games with Gao Dui. What about you? What are you doing? I don't like to play, let alone how did I know she could play games? Miao Yingying looked dumbfounded, as she had just found out, she must be playing games for Gao Dui, and she acts like she loves playing games. Okay, get close to Godway. Gao Dui is obviously not the kind of person who loves to play games. Even so, she has made preparations. Look at you, Ugh. Bai Hui sighed, this girl is particularly good at playing games. Where is Miao Yingying? Sometimes he's even arrogant. Miao Yingying stamped her feet angrily. She just didn't like to play games. Of course she came here today because she was on guard against Tao Piyiwen. Another reason was to show that she and Lin Xinhua could get along like ordinary friends and that there was no grudge against the past. After chatting for a while, Lin Xinhua invited everyone to come and play 4v4. There were 5 computers in the esports room, plus the 3 gaming laptops temporarily rented from the hotel. There were 8 computers. How to group them? Lu Chang'an said to Lin Xinhua, how about you bring Miao Yingying and Bai Hui, plus Zhao Chen, one with 3. Okay, this is more fair. Gao Dui agreed with Lu Chang'an's suggestion as always. How is this fair? If I bring the 3 of them, I might as well bring 3 computers instead of bullying professional players like this. Lin Xinhua refused without hesitation. Miao Yingying slapped Lin Xinhua and said with a smile, we are not willing yet. Who wants to be in a group with you? Lin Xinhua and I are in a group, the leader said in a low voice with slightly red cheeks. Miao Yingying couldn't help turning her head to look at Bai Hui with a dumbfounded expression. Why are these women so unreserved? They are girls. Can they be more proud, reserved, and reserved? Tao Peiwen was like this, and so was the team leader. Think about An Nuan. Bai Hui sighed softly, isn't An Nuan the same? Today's boys approach girls in a licking dog manner during the pursuit stage. Most of them are not very good. They know that they have nothing to attract the other party, so they can only rely on licking. Guys like Lu Chang'an, Gao Dui, Lin Xinhua, etc. children, not to mention Lu Chang'an and Gao Dui, isn't Lin Xinhua also extremely good in the field of esports? They have many girls to pursue. If Miao Yingying still refuses to let go of her modesty and reserve, always acting like I just play with you more, but has no intention of pursuing you, I'm afraid they won't take the initiative as she wishes. Please give Zhou Dongdong some sympathy and star points, because even the soup was drunk by the Queen Mother. I recommend a book called The Black Technology System of Ball Master. It is said that you will be able to play ball after reading it. I'm really immortal. Author, Chulian Kuikan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 608. The final group drawn was Lu Chang'an and Miao Yingying, Gao Dui and Tao Peiwen, Lin Xinhua and the team leader named Yu Shui, and Zhao Chen and Bai Hui. Lei Hong had never played before and did not play. The restrictions placed on Lin Xinhua are that he cannot bring equipment with him when going out, and he cannot bring wards during the landing phase. Although there is no jungle arrangement, the restrictions caused by not bringing wards during the landing phase are not very big. No one wanted to line up with Lin Xinhua, so Lu Chang'an went to the top lane to line up with Lin Xinhua, and Gao Dui naturally chose the middle lane. Miao Yingying and Tao Peiwen were left. How are you playing? How about I help you? Tao Peiwen said without confidence. Let me help you. Miao Yingying knew that the other party was pretending, so how could she be fooled? She doesn't play much, but she doesn't know how to play at all. She plays as a support, hides at the back, and just stands and watches from a distance when playing in a group. How about I go to the jungle, and while you hang out in the bottom lane, I'll hang around in the bottom half and take care of you. Tao Peiwen made a suggestion. That's good. Miao Yingying accepted the suggestion. Who is willing to go all the way with you? So choose someone and enter the game. Gao Dui took a Varus and rushed to the middle. Zhao Chen chose Ash and ran to the middle, but accidentally went too far and was hit twice by the tower. Zhao Chen turned around and ran away. Gao Dui chased her and took the A killed, got first blood, and then reverse QED to celebrate. Why don't you flash? Lin Xinhua was stunned when he saw this scene. I can't bear to hand it over, Zhao Chen said matter-of-factly. Lin Xinhua patted his forehead. Tao Peiwen bought a jungle knife and happily went directly to the red buff on the opposite side of the upper half, wandering around the bottom lane. Take care of you. Non-existent. Lu Chang'an took a Yasuo and went on the road, facing Lin's heart's disaster. Haha, a child is being robbed by a child. Bai Hui stood under a tower on the bottom lane, looked at the lane on the top lane, and laughed. She didn't play many games, but she still knew these game jokes. Miao Yingying ran over and hit Bai Hui several times. Bai Hui yelled, saying that it was disgusting that Miao Yingying sneaked up on her, and then ran to the back and stood in the grass. The team leader, Yu Shui, is the ADC. Seeing her support hiding outside the experience area, she felt a little helpless, but it didn't matter. She directly caught up with Miao Yingying, and Kaa lit up flash to take the kill. Yu Shui's face was expressionless, and she felt really happy when she faced her ex-girlfriend who killed the boy she liked. Gao Dui, come here and get the blue. Tao Peiwen, who had just countered the opponent's red buff, ran back to hit the blue. No, you take the first one. I don't want, you come and get it, the blue buff is yours, the red buff is yours, the 3 wolves and F4 are also yours. I will fatten you up, you carry. Tao Peiwen said calmly, as if it was just for a game need. Lin Xinhua and Yu Shui couldn't help but turn to look at Gao Dui and Tao Peiwen. If others didn't understand, how could they? If you encounter such a jungler in the middle, then marry him. Seeing them grinding, Lu Chang'an came around and took away the blue buff that Tao Peiwen had just beaten. Lu Chang'an. What are you doing? What do you want from Yasuo? Tao Peiwen was stunned and watched Lu Chang'an leave. He actually gave her a thumbs up. Reduce CD. The same as Chang and Gao Dui said happily. Why are you so happy? Tao Peiwen didn't understand at all, so she went to get her own red buff. She didn't believe that Lu Chang'an could run from the top lane to the bottom lane to get the red buff. It was very effective for Lu Chang'an to get the blue buff. On the top road, he killed Lin Xinhua, who went out without buying any equipment and was about to push the line home. Awesome, Lin Xinhua exclaimed and became serious. He could see that Lu Chang'an was hiding his secrets and was not at the level of an ordinary player. Miao Yingying ran to the wild area and tried to trouble the wild monsters, but was killed by the wild monsters. She was only level 2 now, and spent most of her time dead. If she was alive, she would run to the line to die. She had no way of facing off against Yu Shui. Although Yu Shui is just a team leader, she has been with professional players for a long time and watched many games. She is not something that a rookie like Miao Yingying can handle. Bai Hui has been hiding in the grass, and she is still 1 level higher than Miao Yingying, because she took advantage of Miao Yingying's death to go home, and tentatively walked against the wall to the grass where she could gain experience. But hiding in the grass all the time was boring, so Bai Hui ran from the middle of the river to the upper road. When she passed by, she warned Gao Dui not to hit her. After arriving at her destination safely, she hid in the grass. When Bai Hui saw Lu Chang'an online, he ran out and hit Lu Chang'an, screamed excitedly, hid in the grass again, and said to Lu Chang'an, I'll hit you, but you can't reach me. Because she is long range and a brilliance, if Lu Chang'an rushes over, she can trap him in a trap and make him unable to do anything. You go to the bottom lane. Lin Xinhua strongly urged Bai Hui to get out. The top laner hit an inexperienced player in the grass in the lane. He didn't use his skills and only came out as an A-level support from time to time. He was still playing Jaguar? Then let's kill him together first. After Bai Hui said that, he rushed out. Bai Hui threw various skills at Lu Chang'an, but they were all blocked by Lu Chang'an's wind wall. Lu Chang'an killed a minion, instantly upgraded and killed Bai Hui with a knife, and then QED Lin Xinhua. Although Lu Chang'an lost the wind wall, Lin Xinhua left without hesitation, without any intention of avenging Bai Hui. He was only 2 levels short of a hair loss, and Lin Xinhua had to eat 2 more soldiers before he could level up. There is still 1 level left. How can he block my skills? It's so unfair. Bai Hui pointed at the screen and said to Lin Xinhua. Is it only fair that he lets you hit all the skills? Lin Xinhua sighed. Then why didn't you hit him? Bai Hui looked at Lin Xinhua incomprehensibly. If the 2 of us go together, he will definitely die. I know you are on the opposite side. You are Lu Chang'an's assistant. You give me life, experience, and money. You also gave me an experience reduction buff. It's even more extreme than Tao Pe when Lin Xinhua said excitedly after seeing Bai Hui's resurrection. Running up the road, I suddenly felt desperate. Hearing what Lin Xinhua said, Bai Hui didn't take it seriously and was a little happy, so he went online to chase Lu Chang'an again. Lu Chang'an was forced to hack her to death with 2 swords. Lin Xinhua stood in the grass, watching Bai Hui come back to life. He happily ran to the road to kill people and never came out again. He was beaten by Bai Hui and became autistic. Why can't he kill his teammates in this game? Woolen cloth? Lu Chang'an felt that he was defeated by force, so he ran to the middle road and demolished the middle tower with Gao Duai. When Yu Shui saw Zhao Chen standing near the second tower, she couldn't help but said, "Why don't you keep the troops away?" I walked over a little bit, and Gao Duai shot me. His arrow shot far, so I am safe just standing here, Zhao Chen said worriedly, and stepped back a little, because she found that Lu Chang'an's tornado was also blowing. It looks very far away and is rushing back and forth, which looks dangerous. Miao Yingying also ran over. When she saw Zhao Chen standing under Tower 2, she walked over to click on Zhao Chen and pressed E. As a result, she rushed to the foot of the tower and wanted to run away. Zhao Chen finally got smart and walked towards Miao Ying. Ying used a big move to freeze Miao Yingying under the tower, and successfully got ahead, and she was very happy immediately. Lin Xinhua and Yu Shui quit the game. Yeah, Bai Hui stood up happily. Where are you from? Lin Xinhua looked at Bai Hui with a mixture of laughter and laughter. Oh, we lost. Bai Hui felt a little confused, because he spent most of the time watching Lu Chang'an's operations and forgot that he was opposite Lu Chang'an. I won before I even showed my performance. Miao Yingying was the one who died the most, but she still smacked her lips with regret. She had already saved money to buy a recurve bow, and she felt that she was awesome and came back to life. You can go kill people. Tao Pe has been playing jungle, and even released the Slag Giant. She originally thought that she could rush to the front to block damage during the team fight, but in the end, there was no team fight at all, and the main force on the opposite side was pushed back by their own pig teammates. This game is really exciting. Before 2018, I often played 2Qs with a similar cute girl, so I have been wandering around in silver, gold, and platinum. The master I played in 2018 currently only has diamonds. After all, I am old, my reaction is slow, and I no longer have the original intention to play games. You don't need to think what I wrote is ridiculous. Girls won't be such a slut. My assistants before were people like Miao Yingying and Bai Fen. The difference is that she is both a slut and playful. When someone gets an A in a game, she insists on getting her A back. When too many people die, she starts to hang up and troll her teammates. Alas, I don't know what her fun is in playing games. I'll miss her a little bit. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm really immortal. Author, Chulian Kuikan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 609. After the game ended, Zhao Chen, Bai Hui and Miao Yingying still felt a little unsatisfied. Miao Yingying thought Qin Nu was very beautiful and wanted to buy a skin to try. Bai Hui felt that Yasuo, who was mainly Lu Chang'an just now, was too annoying and made her feel uncomfortable. His glory cannot show his true strength, but Zhao Chen believes that the people facing him must choose melee heroes, and cannot let them choose heroes who can shoot all the time. It is a universal truth that the more you cook, the more you love to play. After playing a few more games, Su Shui quit and replaced him with Lei Hong, who had never played before. Zhao Chen began to teach his boyfriend how to play the game step by step. Their plan was to play here all night tonight. The beds in the esports hotel room were not designed for a sound and comfortable sleep. Several bunk beds were arranged so that they could rest when they were tired. After playing for a while, everyone was a little hungry. Originally, Gao Duai and Tao Peiwen went to buy supper, but Miao Yingying pulled Gao Duai to ask for Sala, so she sent Lu Chang'an and Bai Hui to go with them. This game is quite fun. I played it a few times in high school, but I still didn't find it interesting. Bai Hui's eyes were still shining. When encountering interesting things or being happy, people are always the most energetic, exuberant. The fun part is not the game, but playing the game with friends, Lu Chang'an said with a smile. I only played it in high school, and I haven't played it for a long time. The operation is a bit behind my consciousness. Why were you so neat when you killed me? Does this mean that the operation is a bit out of step with consciousness? Bai Hui died 7 times that time. If his operation had kept up with his consciousness, wouldn't he have killed him the moment they met? In fact, it's almost the same. Bai Hui thought about it. In most cases, as long as she hits him, she will die. I just treat you as a soldier. I need to hit you 4 times with 1 needle. You usually die with 1 or 2 stabs. When I run out of money to kill you, I won't bother to care about you, Lu Chang'an explained, hoping that she understand that he didn't mean to target. I told you that when I chased you later, you went straight to hunt the hairy crabs, Bai Hui said with sudden realization. At that time, she thought he had mercy and couldn't bear to kill her, so Bai Hui chased her even more happily. Take Lu Chang'an to fight. Yes, you can hit people without losing any blood. I can draw them back even with the Dolan sword. When I go back later, I want to solo with you. I want to play Timo. Miao Yingying said that Timo is cute and powerful. He is the most powerful ADC, Bai Hui said with confidence. Lu Chang'an felt that she was really confident and felt that she could win with another hero, so he nodded without saying anything. Speaking of which, Bai Hui hesitated to speak. Explain. When I was painting the space, I accidentally saw An Nuan showing off her affection again. You finally made that skirt. Bai Hui remembered that Lu Chang'an asked her to borrow a skirt for reference a long time ago. At that time, I asked him to help me take photos. I didn't expect that a dress would take so long to design and carefully make. An Nuan sent a lot of detailed pictures, and Bai Hui compared the skirts in her wardrobe, and found that none of them could match the workmanship. There is no way. There are 2 brands like AP and Baby that I buy. Even if their products are limited editions, they are mass-produced on the assembly line. Where can I find a customized version like Anyuan, which is only one in the world, that pays so much attention to workmanship? Actually, it didn't take much time to actually start working on it. I spent a lot of time on the initial design and preparation, but I was not particularly satisfied with it. On the contrary, it was only after I accidentally got along the river during the Qingming festival that I felt that I had finished it in one go. It's done. Lu Chang'an turned to look at Bai Hui, who was also wearing a low skirt and a shawl today. In the original design concept, this kind of dress is probably to express the gorgeous and elegant dress style, but in fact, the details of these dresses are too complicated, and the materials are very different from real customized dresses, so wearing these dresses, it looks like she looks more like a dressed-up doll than an elegant lady. What's more, she is dressed like a girl, and it would be more appropriate to say she looks like a doll. Especially Baiani's colored contact lenses today make her eyes look particularly big. Her delicate face is covered with a soft luster in the night, and there are some spots under her small nose. Her little cherry mouth pouted in displeasure made her look like a doll that ran out of the window. The most important thing is the height difference. From a bird's eye view, the short but cute girl is as small as a doll. You mean, many things cannot be forced, and all the hard work is often not as good as luck? Bai Hui asked in a low voice. I didn't say that. There are no absolute rules for many things in the world. Many times, they are just looking for a reason to work hard or give up. No matter how soft her voice was, he could still hear it. Lu Chang'an gave an example. For example, Just like Tao Peiwen and Miao Yingying, Tao Peiwen may not be lucky, and Miao Yingying may not be able to force it. In the end, it depends on which of them continues to work hard and who wants to give up. Then who are you more optimistic about? Bai Hui's voice suddenly became much louder, his ears twitched, and he looked at Lu Chang'an expectantly with his neck raised. Bapo Lu Chang'an smiled when he saw her expression of excitement immediately after being stimulated by the gossip. Say it quickly. Bai Hui didn't mind that he said she was the eighth wife. Could it be that when he said she was the eighth wife, she looked like a market ant? She still looks like a cute little fairy. I think neither Miao Yingying nor Tao Peiwen has confessed to Gao Duai, because they all know that Gao Duai thinks that everyone is friends. Only when he really confesses to him will he realize that others are pursuing him, not because of friends. Let's play together. Lu Chang'an still knows Gao Duai very well, they are not sure, and they are afraid that after confessing their love, they will not even be friends and will end up directly. Why is Gao Duai so stupid? You can't even see it. Bai Hui said with some complaint that Miao Yingying didn't deserve it. It's not stupid, it's just that he didn't think about it at all. He didn't think about love in his heart, so how could he pay attention to the many small details and hints from girls? Lu Chang'an glanced at Bai Hui. For example, I have never paid attention to the fact that when the integer n\u003e2, the equation x(n plus y(n) equals z(n) about x, y, z has no positive integer solution, so even if someone writes the proof process again and again in front of you every day, when someone asks you how to prove Fermat's last theorem, you still don't know who Andrew Wiles is. Bai Hui opened her mouth slightly and stood there with her eyes blank. She understood the previous paragraph, but wasn't giving examples to make people understand better. What a damn example he gave. Hate, I know Fermat's last theorem, I saw it in the mathematician's story at the back of the textbook. Bai Hui slapped Lu Chang'an, looked at the restaurant in front of him calmly, and complained, let them use their mobile phones. They refused to order takeout, so they had to let us do the work, and it's true that this restaurant doesn't even have takeout. Bai Hui realized that the key question was not who Andrew Wiles was. Lu Chang'an was talking about Tao Peiwen, Miao Yingying, and Gao Duai. Could he be hinting at his relationship with An Nuan and her? Probably not. If he was hinting, then he realized it. What did he realize? Did he realize that he liked him? He obviously has no thoughts in this regard, nor is he like Tao Peiwen and Miao Yingying. Gao Duai also has no girlfriend, which is different from him, a broken flower who has a master. But, why do I still feel that he is saying that he hopes she won't confess her love, otherwise she won't even be a friend? Bai Hui clenched her fists and pinched her palms lightly with her fingernails. No way, don't worry, we are just friends. I'm really immortal. Author, Chulian Kui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 610. Not far away, there is the bar street on Jifang West Road. Within this short few hundred meters, there are many bars of all sizes. There are always stores being renovated and adjusted, and there are always new stores opening. The prosperity of the city is always accompanied by many. In order to have a carnival in their free time, some people are inside playing lantern riddles while others are looking up at the outside. Bai Hui looked at her dreamy shoes, stepping on the black wet road. Perhaps some of her emotions were the same as her preferred dressing style. What seemed dreamy was actually just the look she had made with her own efforts. Suddenly a strong force came from her arms. Bai Hui raised her arms like a bird flapping its wings. She stumbled and was pulled into Lu Chang'an's arms. Bai Hui raised her head in surprise and saw him looking at the two young men in front of him expressionlessly. Tease. You. The two young men said a word to Bai Hui. They all wore heavily embroidered coats, with traces of tattoos showing on their necks. Their oiled hair stood on end, exuding a rebellious and slightly melancholy temperament with a boring life. They were riding a ghost fire electric car. Their legs in small pants looked extra slender because of their lazy sitting posture. Their beanie shoes were full of the cynicism of British hippies. The smell of alcohol overflowing when the corners of their mouths were slightly raised was also quite impressive. Manly. Why are you riding a bicycle? And you're still swearing, Bai Hui said angrily. This is a sidewalk, they just bumped into each other like this. If Lu Chang'an hadn't pulled him over, Bai Hui would have fallen down. Forget about wrestling normally, falling down in front of Lu Chang'an, on such a dark and wet ground, how embarrassing and embarrassing. Tease. You. The two young men repeated the game of each person saying one word, and then burst out laughing at their tacit understanding. Beauty, you took such a big risk and left. The young man in front was about to start the car and leave, but found that his modified 96V Ghostfire electric car could not start at all, and there was only a harsh scraping sound from the tires rubbing against the ground. Lu Chang'an stopped the car. Hey, brother, are you going to cause trouble? Two young men walked down. You apologize, just apologize, Bai Hui said quickly. Although Lu Chang'an still looked expressionless, she could also see that he was angry. But Bai Hui didn't want Lu Chang'an to fight because of her. After all, she and An Nuan were different, and Nuan was probably a little proud when she saw Lu Chang'an fighting with her suitor. Who wouldn't know that Lu Chang'an beat Minister Yuan? Do you know? Why do you want them to apologize? Lu Chang'an shook his head. Most of the time, apologies are meaningless, so asking the other party to apologize is certainly meaningless. Lu Chang'an is not so boring. Then what do you want to do? Not wanting to apologize at first, the two young men simply put their hands in their pockets, becoming more and more unruly. Lu Chang'an raised his foot, landed on the footrest of the Ghostfire, and immediately broke the electric car into two pieces. The two young men were startled and quickly ducked aside. Is this the strength of an elephant's feet? Lu Chang'an saw some people gathered around to watch the fun, so he grabbed their necks and dragged the two of them to the stairway of an alley. Brother, you have something to say. Anyone who is picked up by the neck and thrown to the ground like a little chicken will be subdued, right? We apologize, we pay compensation. Isn't it human nature to play with someone softly and apologize hardly? Bai Hui trotted behind Lu Chang'an. She didn't say much at this time. She has known Lu Chang'an for so long, and her relationship with him has gradually improved. Now she can occasionally hang out alone like a close friend. I also know that Lu Chang'an rarely listens to other people's advice, unless the person who advises him is An Nuan. It is estimated that these two people were beaten severely, but fortunately, Lu Chang'an did not beat anyone in public. If they don't beat people up, these little ruffians will not think about going to the police to settle the score afterwards. I hope it won't cause him any trouble. Unlock your mobile phones and give them to me. After Lu Chang'an finished speaking, he kicked their calves twice. He didn't specifically kick any painful spots, so he just kicked them casually. Who made them fail to respond within 0.001 seconds after he made the request? Then of course you have to remind them. The two of them wailed for a while. They never thought that they were driving recklessly and encountered such a monster. Just now, their necks seemed to have been broken by him. Now they feel that their whole bodies have grown taller, especially their necks. When Lu Chang'an saw that they were just whining and not respecting his request, he jumped again. The two of them quickly took out their mobile phones. They were all Apple phones. Although they were not the latest models, as fashionable young people, even if they were using older models, they had to be Apple-branded phones. Now, take off his pants. 0.001 seconds passed, and the two of them were kicked again. Seeing Lu Chang'an's calmness as if he was kicking a can, Bai Hui recalled Lu Chang'an's killer-like calm aura before, and couldn't help but worry and said, "You, don't kick them to death. When they were driving like that, they weren't worried about hitting you to death." Lu Chang'an smiled and touched the top of Bai Hui's head. "Be good and go, the show here is not suitable for children. Listening to Lu Chang'an say the word be good, as if it was magical, Bai Hui said oh and moved to stand outside the stairs. Then she heard Lu Chang'an continue to ask them to take off their pants and let them hug each other naked. Bai Hui blushed and was stunned. Was Lu Chang'an a devil? She could still feel the white light of the flash, and he took the photo. I took intimate photos for them and posted them on WeChat to show their affection. At this time Lu Chang'an came out, casually crushed the two mobile phones and threw them away, and said to Bai Hui, "Show affection. Yeah, I see they have such a tacit understanding when they curse, they are probably a couple." Couple? Yes, they were so affectionate just now and both looked shy. They must be a couple. Shy? Yes, isn't it normal for couples to show affection? There's no need to be shy. Normal. Stop talking nonsense and go buy some late-night snacks. Lu Chang'an pulled Bai Hui, who was stunned, and left. Bai Hui was pulled by Lu Chang'an like a wooden figure. As a girl, although she sometimes couldn't help but fantasize about certain relationships between men, but it didn't mean that she thought what just happened was beautiful. She didn't look back, but she could also imagine what a perverted scene it was. Listening to Lu Chang'an's command, she knew that these two people would not be able to clean themselves up if they jumped into the Yellow River in the future, right? From then on, I discovered that my true orientation was unknown.